Hi, both. Thanks for joining us today on our Business Gurus channel, where we will be discussing key business topics to help students grasp the most important elements of their course in preparation for their exams and future career. Let's get started.
Okay, let's dive in. We're talking about something absolutely fundamental for, well, any business, really, big or small. And it affects all of us where we live, where we work, where we shop.
Definitely.
It's a massive decision.
Yeah.
Where do you actually set up for your business?
Yeah, it's a huge strategic choice. So much rides on it.
We've been digging into quite a bit of source material on this, stuff
Mhm.
that really breaks down what influences this decision.
Right. Yeah.
So our plan today is to sort of cut through the noise, pull out the key insights from these sources about what really drives this choice.
Absolutely. And the sources we looked at, they lay things out pretty logically. They basically point to two main sort of buckets of influence.
Okay.
First, there's big emphasis on factors tied to proximity. Who or what does the business need to be near?
Right, nearness. Makes sense.
And second, the sources really highlight the intrinsic nature of the business's activity itself.
Yeah.
What it does fundamentally shapes its needs.
Okay, let's start with proximity. That feels pretty intuitive, right? It's like you need to be near your customer,
Exactly. That's a big one. Proximity to the market comes up again and again in the sources.
especially for shops and services, I imagine.
Precisely. Retail, services, anything perishable. The sources talk about foot traffic, sure, but also logistical reach now.
Ah, so like delivery zones and stuff.
Yeah, and customer density.
Yeah.
E-commerce is changing what near even means. But that connection to the customer is still key.
Got it. Okay, market proximity. But you also need people actually working in the business, labor.
Definitely. Proximity to labor is another huge point stressed in the sources. Businesses need the right kind of workforce nearby.
And right kind can mean very different things, I guess.
Totally. For a factory, maybe it's skilled trades or just available manual labor at a certain cost. For a tech company, it's engineers, designers.
Right.
So the sources show that the availability, the cost, the skills of the local labor pool, massive drivers for location choices.
Okay, market, labor. What about the actual stuff you need to make things? Raw materials, components. Did the sources cover that?
Oh, yeah. Proximity to materials. That's crucial, especially for manufacturing or agriculture, resource extraction. The sources really emphasize this.
Like the classic examples, steel mills near coal and iron.
Exactly like that. Or, say, food processing plants near farms. It's often about minimizing transport costs for inputs that are heavy or bulky. Logistics can be a killer otherwise.
Makes sense. Okay, market, labor, materials. You mentioned competitors earlier, though. That still feels a bit
Yeah.
odd. Why would sources say being near your rivals is good?
Yeah, it's counterintuitive, isn't it? But the sources bring up this idea of agglomeration economy.
Like what now?
Agglomeration economies, basically clustering together. Sometimes being in a known hub for your industry actually attracts customers. Think restaurant rows or car dealerships altogether.
Ah, okay. People go there because there's choice.
Right. And maybe even more importantly, the sources point out these clusters create an ecosystem. They attract skilled workers who want to be in that hub. Specialized suppliers pop up. Maybe even shared infrastructure develops.
Like Silicon Valley for tech.
Mm.
Or a fashion district.
Perfect examples the sources might use. That concentration itself becomes an advantage. So competitor proximity isn't always negative.
Huh. Okay, I get it now. So those are the big proximity drivers the sources talk about.
Mhm.
Market, labor, materials, and even competitors.
Those are the key ones, yeah.
But you said there was a second main area influencing location. Something about the business itself.
Exactly. The fundamental nature of the business's activity. The sources make it really clear that what a business actually does dictates which of those proximity factors matter most.
So it acts like a filter.
Precisely. A software company, for instance, might desperately need that labor proximity, the talent pool, right? And maybe market proximity, like being near clients or investors.
But they probably don't care much about raw materials nearby.
Not usually, no. Whereas a heavy industrial plant, material proximity might be number one, maybe land cost. They might be less sensitive to, say, foot traffic or even certain labor types if they're highly automated.
So the business activity itself determines the hierarchy of needs, basically.
Yeah. And other things, too, tied to its nature. How much space does it need? Does it need specific infrastructure, like heavy power lines or super fast internet? What about local regulations? Even aesthetics for branding. The sources show these all link back to what the business is.
Okay, so putting it all together, based on the sources, Businesses are constantly balancing these pulls. Market, labor, materials, competitors,
Yeah.
all viewed through the lens of what the business fundamentally is and what it needs to survive and thrive.
You've got it. And understanding that dynamic, it's actually really valuable for everyone.
How so?
Well, whether you're just a consumer wondering why the shops are where they are, or an employee thinking about job locations, or maybe you're dreaming of starting your own thing, it helps explain the economic world around you, why things are clustered the way they are.
It definitely makes you look at your town differently.
Right. And here's something to maybe chew on, building on what the sources discuss. Think about how those different proximity factors, market, labor, materials, might pull a business in completely different directions geographically.
Ah, like a tug of war.
Exactly. The best place for customers might be miles away from the cheapest raw materials or the right workforce. So businesses face these really tough trade-offs. They have to prioritize based on their specific activity, their core costs, their main drivers. So if you were starting a business, how would you weigh those competing forces? Which magnet would pull you the strongest? Where would you compromise?
Thanks to both of you for joining us today. You've been listening to the Business Gurus. Let's now hand it over to you. What further questions do you have based on what we've discussed so far? Leave a comment and we'll get back to you right away. If you haven't already, hit that follow for more business tips.